Yep, y'all got to look at my face one more time. And then you can go on a Christmas break. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's the end of an era. Our time has come. Like Boys to Men would say, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. It's the end of an era. The Erskin Music Show. After this episode will be no more. But it's okay. I'm coming right back. In January, we'll be starting a new show called Live Louder. In fact, the icon is already up there. Which way is it? It's that way. The icon is already there. And some of you are wondering, really not good for consistency for you to do a show at your non-regular time that nobody is watching. Oh, but you guys are watching. You guys are paying attention. And that has been the hallmark of the Erskin Music Show since day one of this show. You guys have been watching. You've been waiting. You've been listening. You've been commenting. Folks, let me do this. I got to hold the microphone today, so I can't. I'm obviously not in my home studios. I'm in a secure location in East Tennessee. And if you're following along with the show route, we went from Nashville to Michigan to Indiana, back to Nashville to East Tennessee, and then we'll be done. Got a show tomorrow night here in Johnson City, Tennessee. For those of you who are close enough to be a part of that, you can be a part of that. But nonetheless, let's get out, wipe the map with all that. This show is on. Comment section is on. I'm just going to type two letters. On. Let you guys know it's live. See, what had happened was I got meetings all day today in Johnson City that overlap with the time that I'm normally going to be doing my show. And so had to do the show early, had to do the series finale, not just season finale. This show is over. No more Erskin Music Show in your face. But again, we're coming back. We're coming back with another show called Live Louder. All right, so that's the great announcement for today. We've been announcing that all throughout the week, just to let you guys know. I hope you enjoyed Anna, and I hope you guys enjoyed Arik, and hope you guys enjoy this episode. We got a banger for today. How do you want to go out with the Erskin Music Show? Well, we're just going to do what the Erskin Music Show always does, which is ball out. All right, really quickly here. Thank you guys so much for watching today. The comment section is turned on. Let you guys know that every time you make a comment on there, it lets other people wake up to the reality of what's going on in this world. Wake the heck up. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, Big Head, you're producing this show one more time. Last time, it's so hard to say goodbye. I don't even think I have that hat anymore. I don't know what you did with it, but it's gone. All right. And as has been per usual for this show, a party from day one. And continues to be a party. Gospel music, choirs, and everything. Although I don't have my tambourines today. I don't have my tambourines. Hallelujah! All right. All right, settle down. Settle down. All right. Well, again, hope you guys enjoyed the shows earlier this week. I'm going to get the tags out of the way here because I got a big show for today. I'm looking at some cybersecurity stuff that I want to look at and get you guys into the holidays with. I'm going to make sure that you guys recognize this little pocket rocket here that I have here. This little thing right here. This device is listening to you all the time, people. It's listening to this. If you talk about some kind of ad, it's going to somehow show up on your phone. If you're talking about some kind of conflict or something that you have going, it's going to suddenly show up on your phone. So you know what we need to be talking about on our phones? Jesus, 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 the incarnation, the birth of Christ. Here we go. Talk about Jesus as much as you possibly can in your phone, to your phone. Anyway, we'll get to cybersecurity stuff. I've also, we've got some, and I'm going to be careful the way I say this. We've got some activity, extremist Muslim activity in Nigeria that I'm going to need you guys to lock in. Look, if you're watching the Erskin Music Show, you're watching the Erskin Music Show for a reason. I don't have stupid audiences, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I don't have a lot of people who watch this show, but the people who watch this show are very intelligent people. I know it because of the comments you guys make. I know it because of the substance of what it is that you guys want me talking about on the show. So we got some really intelligent people. Stupid people don't watch this show. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. If you're stupid, if you're frivolous, or if you're extremely young, you won't watch the Erskin Music Show. Smart people watch this show. Flat earthers don't watch this show. King James. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna settle down. I'm already getting myself in trouble. But the funny thing about it is when you do the Erskin music show that has your name branded on it, you can't cancel the Erskin music show because it's my show. But I am going to switch it over to Live Louder because I want more people. And I was thinking about this morning. The reason why we're switching it over to Live Louder is because we want to amplify the message in the kingdom of Christ to a greater degree than we ever have. And so if you think that this show has been spicy, we're coming back with a little bit more. All right. And then we got to talk about this lady at Target because we want to go out the door with some holiday shopping etiquette. And I want to make sure that we who are followers of Christ are representing like we know we need to. Get my tags out of the way. Comment on. This is not pre-recorded, homeboy. This is not pre-recorded. It normally would be pre-recorded, but the fact that I'm doing it now live is an indication of the fact I don't normally do this show at this time. It's normally an hour later, but I'm an hour ahead Eastern Standard Time. But I've got meetings today. The show is live, so if you jump comments in there or you want to argue about stuff, you can. It doesn't matter. If you don't think this show is live, it's live. But by the time people watch it, most of the people watch it, it won't be live anymore. So I apologize for that. This show has been voted the #1 show. You would say, why would you take a show that has been voted the #1 show off the air? And we're not taking it off the air. We're rebranding it. But it was voted the #1 show by absolutely no one. I think that it's a very good show. Big Head thinks that it's a big show. Party Big Head certainly thinks it's a good show. Is it a good show? Okay. #1 show. All right, let's get to these tags, and then we're going to get to our devotion, and then we're going to get to some of these stories, top stories. I know. The way that the algorithm works, jump into the stories. Give us the meat. We ain't got time for all this stuff. But I'll tell you what you do have time for. You got time for some prayer. Don't play. Don't play with me like this. All right. Fair use. I'm going to do this. I'm going to comment on the stuff that I'm looking at here. I'm going to report on the stuff that I'm looking at here. I'm going to ask you to comment on it. So we're changing it, and it does fall under the guise of fair use. If you've not already subscribed to the show, I'm not putting that up there. There's no more of the Erskin Music Show. Don't even worry about subscribing to the show. It'll change to the Live Louder Show. So if you want to be in the queue for what's coming up next, I guess you can subscribe to the show. But it won't be called that, but you can subscribe. For those who are watching on various platforms, I don't even know why I'm doing this today. The Jesus Story, the Better Story Tour, the Holy Roar Tour, all of that, we'll change out all that stuff. All right, let's get to it. Prayer. Bow your heads. Bow your heads. Close your close your hands together, because we teach young people to pray. You better be postured like this somewhere out there, wherever you're at. Father, we thank you for today. I thank you for just a few moments for character development. We need to take more time for that, but we're gonna do what we need to do today for your name and for your glory. We love you, Jesus. Amen. All right, grab your Bibles. Titus chapter 2. Titus 2. And this great admonition. Oh man, stuff is falling down all over the place. I had a wonderful show last night in Elizabethton, Tennessee. Good folks. Paul is going to give us some instructions for the younger and for the older. Drop my phone. Now I'm going to get several ads about how not to drop your phone. I'll put that right here. Titus chapter 2. These are instructions for the older and for the younger. This is wise, sage-like advice Paul is going to give to Titus, in relationship to the growth of the church, appointment of elders, practice within the church. And then in chapter 3, he's going to go into a section where he talks about being ready. Be prepared. Be ready for the circumstances that are there. In chapter 2, verse 7, I'm reading from a very giant book. This is the Legacy Standard, and I have enjoyed it. This was my Christmas gift this year, and so I've just about finished reading through all of this and got it all marked up and highlighted. I'll be ready for another translation. What translation should I read this next year? What are you guys reading, and what have you valued and what it is you're reading? You drop that in the comment section. But this is Titus chapter 2, verse 7. In all things, show yourself to be a model of good works, with purity in doctrine, dignified, sound in word, which was irreproachable, so that the opponent will be put to shame, having nothing to say about us. All right, folks, is this show? And I ask myself the question because anytime you come to the end of a show series, even though we're starting another one up, I'm asking myself the question: what have these 5 years been in relationship to the Erskine Music Show? Has it been an exercise in manipulation? Has it been an exercise in having conversations for clickbait and those kind of things? I ask myself these questions. This is a reflective time for me. And really, you can't answer that question for me. I've got to answer that question for myself. But I think at least I've endeavored to do a show that is kind of unlike other shows that are out there. There's a lot of talking heads and podcasts and things that are out there. And what's the difference and what's the distinction? I think if anybody were to watch this show over the last 5 years, the Erskin Music Show, that is, and now as we're preparing for the Live Louder show, I think that it would be that this show has endeavored to have at least a structure that allows people to sustain conversation and sustain attention a little bit better than just TikTok, clickbait, sensational. I mean, I got a tremendous response concerning Candace Owens. There's been a couple other stories that I've done that got tremendous response and engagement from people. But I have not chased those trends, nor have I tried to chase the popular trends that everybody else chases for clickbait. There's a part of the show that is educational in the sense that we do go to the scriptures, we talk about the scriptures, we have a devotion, we do a lot of C.S. Lewis, Charles Spurgeon, those types of things. I want to jump back in, Live Louder, just to let you guys know where I'm going to go. I'm going to talk more about Calvinism, Arminian debate. What's a good show like this without a Calvinism Arminian debate? And so we're going to rile up the Calvinists a little bit. We're going to rile up the Arminians a little bit. You guys know I stand squarely on the side of the Reformed tradition. Have enjoyed that, and I think that when you guys see me and hear me speak, it comes from that vantage point and that background. But yet, there's some things that we need to consider with regards to how people discuss free will. We'll jump into all that next season. But presently, we have some things that we need to think about. I think none other than C.S. Lewis can help us to think about those things in relationship to character development. Seeing someone's character, there are two things here that I think we need to think about. How the world judges our character. And I love what he says here because not only does it apply to me, but I think if we would be honest, this also should apply to you.
The world teaches us to judge people by their smiles, their confidence, their charm, their words. But God does not measure a man by these things. And C.S. Lewis never trusted them either.
Mm-hmm.
Words can be practiced. Behavior can be polished. Image can be crafted. But the soul always slips out in the unguarded moments. There are two moments, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, where a person's character becomes impossible to hide. And you don't need long training to recognize them. Just a little attention, a little silence, a little wisdom. The first moment appears when a person is placed in front of someone the world calls small.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who cannot benefit them, who cannot praise them, who cannot offer status or value. In this simple moment, the truth shines. Because the proud only respect authority, never humanity. And the humble honor every soul as a child of God. Some people bow in front of kings, yet crush the dignity of the weak. Some pray loudly in church, but speak harshly to a waiter. Some quote scripture, but cannot look an exhausted worker in the eyes with kindness.
I'm going to stop on that point because this really ties our whole show together today. Am I only so good on this show as it allows me to, I don't know, I'm trying to get comfortable here. Got the Christmas tree and everything in the background. This is kind of nice. Like, put my leg up, put my feet up in this house. Anyway, are we only manipulators in the way that we view our Christian life? Some people would say that's hypocrisy. I certainly don't have a perfect record of this. There have been times when I've spoken to waiters or some service person in an inappropriate way, but in the balance of life, How do you respond to people who can't benefit you overtly in any particular way? Are those people just as valued with your time and energy? I love it when I go places and we were this is just kind of a weird thing, but we were traveling and I think we were around Knoxville or so. Went into a gas station. There were some workers there and there were people that were milling around. And I go to the gas station and one of the workers is there. We happen to be taking sort of the same trajectory. Um, and so I thought it would be funny to say this. And they received it as such. There's great delivery here. But I paused in such a way that I turned around quickly and I said, "Are you following me? Are you chasing me? Have I stolen something?" And she just started dying laughing. She's like, "No, I'm not following you." But she recognized, sort of the awkwardness of the situation is that we had to, because of the way the store was arranged, we had to be going down the same path at the same time. She just happened to be a little bit behind me. And so just stopping and making light of that. And she was just laughing and just enjoying herself. Miranda Whitmore, if you guys remember that October 3rd post that I put up of her singing at Cracker Barrel, that might be the greatest birthday song that anybody has ever sung. I think in history. That will go down in history. Never before done and never before duplicated. You look at Miranda Whitmore, and she's been posting a lot of stuff recently because apparently she just found this. It's October, November, December, and she just found the fact that I posted that, and there were so many people who had commented on her incredible voice. Well, that comes from a moment where, and I know you could say, Cracker Barrel, you're there eating, and she's serving, and so in some way she's helping you out. But that comes from a moment in which a lot of times my engagement with people is, tell me about yourself. Tell me about what it is that you're doing. And then we may not ever get to what it is that I do. That's okay. Y'all know what the hell I do. Y'all know when I'm on this microphone, and y'all know when I sit at the Resolute desk in East Nashville, I'm about to step on the gas. Kingdom of God is at stake. There are souls that need to be saved. There's a message that needs to go forth. The nations need to be reached. Music needs to be played. And y'all know what I'm doing when I'm out there. But y'all know what it is that I'm doing. Not everybody needs to know that. And I think that's the thing that C.S. Lewis kind of highlights in this. And I think hang around me if you want to. I think that at least I try to be consistent about this, is that it doesn't make any difference what your title is. I just enjoy people. I enjoy people being around. I enjoy young people. I probably like older people a little bit more than I like young people, but obviously I love young people. We keep foster children. We do that sort of thing. I love college students. I guess I love high school students as well. Middle school students, they're squirrely. They're kind of like cats, but I like them more than cats. I just like people. And I think that when we cultivate or we have that kind of character, that kind of attitude, it shows. There's people who watch this show who are young. And I'm surprised that they watch this show because every once in a while I'll say a bad word. And I'm like, oh, did your parents? Okay, I'll try to stop saying bad words. And then there's some older people who watch the show who are retirement age. And I get messages from them from time to time. That's pretty cool. And then there's kind of Generation X folks like myself who watch this show. They don't watch it. It usually interrupts the workday. And so Gen X, you should be working. We're not retirement age, folks. We should be out there working. We should be grinding. And so there's some who watch this show. They enjoy this show, and I appreciate that. But C.S. Lewis is onto something here. And I really appreciate the way that this has been put together to think through. Can we look at somebody with kindness, even though we aren't directly going to benefit from them? They're not going to post anything on social media about us. They're not going to talk about us. They're not going to pat us on the back. They might not even know who we are.
A person who is rude to the least will one day be cruel to you too. Because their respect was never real, it was selective. And selective respect is not respect at all, it is strategy. When you see someone honor a stranger, speak gently to the unnoticed, or smile at someone who has nothing to offer them. You have glimpsed a soul that understands God. For Jesus said, "Whatever you do for the least of these, you do unto me." C.S. Lewis believed the same. The way we treat those we don't need reveals who we truly are.
That's good.
The second moment of truth is even more revealing. It comes quietly in a single word that destroys all pretense: no. If you want to know someone's heart, deny them gently. Not to
There should have been I know this is kind of AI generated, but it should have been, it comes in a single word: dramatic pause, dramatic pause, dramatic pause, because this is what a real human being would do. No. No. It's like acting class. No. The word no. And I love what he has to say about the word no, because this is a word we probably need to practice a little bit more in 2026. This is a word that I say I'm going to practice it more, but there's two competing thoughts here. Do we need to give more? Do we need to go more? Do we need to sacrifice more? Or do we need to not do those things and just say, I can't do that right now? I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to step away from that. I'm going to have to pause. I'm going to have some rest. But I like the way that he says this. Listen to what he has to say.
insult them, not to test them, but simply in the natural flow of life. Say, no, I can't help right now.
Yeah.
No, I don't have time. No, I'm not free today. No, that doesn't work for me. Watch what happens, not with judgment, but with clarity. The character hidden behind politeness rises instantly. The sweet turn silent.
I don't
The
know
kind
what's
become
going on.
cold. The polite become irritated. The spiritual become manipulative.
I don't know what's going on with white beaming Jesus here. I just noticed this. I literally, when I was doing prep this morning, I was literally just listening to this, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking through this. I'm praying, examining my own heart. What's going on here? When people tell me no, do I try to guilt trip them? And I had no idea. Like, you probably could comment on this, but I had no idea. Like, I just saw an old man that was sitting there. I paid no attention whatsoever to white beaming Jesus on. Has it always been there? Hold on a second. Let me go back through this. Has it? I'm looking back through the timestamp here. White beaming Jesus has always been there, and I didn't even notice him. And then up in the corner over here, we got Mormon. I don't know if that's Mormon Jesus, but that is definitely the 70s Jesus that you saw on a lot of walls on churches. All right, so don't let that distract you. It distracted me for just a second, but don't let that distract you. He's actually saying something that's really good. I didn't notice that. If this is weirding anybody out, it just weirded me out.
The loving become demanding. But the genuine remain gentle. They understand your no without punishing you for it. C.S. Lewis wrote, "What a man does when he is taken off guard is the best evidence for what sort of man he is. It is in the unexpected moment, the denied desire, the unfulfilled expectation, that the true heart speaks. My friend, you were not created to walk blind. God gives his children discernment so that their hearts may be safe. So observe these two sacred moments. How a person treats the unnoticed, and how they behave when they don't get what they want."
And I think that's the key of what it is that he's saying there on that second one. We had a show last night, and we wanted the technology to work. It should work. We've got everything prepped, everything is planned, everything is in go mode. We get there and nothing is working the way that it's supposed to be working. And it was an occasion to be frustrated. But I've said this on many different occasions, and I don't want people to think that the brand of Erskin Music is in any way trying to pursue anything that's subpar. We try to pursue excellence. Excellence will be quantified differently in people's eyes. And certainly my wife, when we've had discussions about this, recognizes the degree of excellence that I desire is different than sometimes the degree of excellence that I can deliver, because of the circumstances that are surrounding us. But I'm not in any way, shape, form, or fashion playing any type of victimization card. I hate the victimization card. I'm not a victim of circumstances. I don't think most people who are out there are victims of circumstance. There's opportunity to respond to what you know you can do. And so I know I'm about to bust Satan's tail. So we're there, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, the technology doesn't work. The show is in the technology, and the technology doesn't work. I've kind of got this Forrest Frank Christmas thing that's going on. Like, you need the computer, or you need whatever is going on there to play in order to get through the show with the correct visuals and the right audio and the right timing and the right videos and all the different things the show is set up. What would happen if that didn't happen? And so I'm take a couple of moments to joke around with a couple of people and do different things to lighten the mood. But then also, there's a possibility that this show will not happen the way that we thought that was and prepared for it to happen. Okay. At the end of the day, we will engage the people. We will play what it is that we can. We'll do what we'll have to alter last minute. We'll present what it is that we have, and praise to the Lord. It should be a blessing. At the end of the day, those of us who are followers of Christ, those of us who are representing the Lord, who are doing any type of public performance, public speaking, public engagement whatsoever, things will not always go the way that you anticipate or envision them going. Sometimes they will go completely opposite of that. You learn a lot about your character. And I would say, by extension, to add to what C.S. Lewis is saying this morning, you'll learn a lot about your calling. A lot of people think they're built for this. A lot of people think they're like this. A lot of people think that they're a touring music artist. You may be an artist. You may be a music artist. You may be a fantastic instrumentalist, maybe session player, maybe studio singer. There's a lot of different things that people can do in music. And I want to help encourage people to find their space. But everybody who thinks they're a touring music artist is not a touring music artist. You left home for a day and you can't function because you've been gone for a day. You might be gone for some weeks. You thought and prepared the greatest show in the world. It didn't work. Cords, cables, whatever, their system shut down, whatever it was, and it didn't work. Are you prepared to step into that moment? We had a situation up in Michigan where my guitars just went out. I'm still trying to figure this out. It doesn't matter whether it's on relay or if it's not. About 20 minutes into the concert, all my guitars go out. And I've never seen anything like, I don't even know how to solve it. And we had this moment where it felt like there was about 2 or 3 minutes where we're just trying to figure out how to get a guitar to play any guitar. I'm playing 2 guitars, an electric and an acoustic. And yeah, I just kind of had to sit there and made a couple of jokes, sit there and let the sound engineer come and fix it for us. And there's a lot of people who said you handled that well. It felt bad for you, but handled it well. And I think you learn a lot about yourself. These are sometimes, and I'm not berating anybody out there at all. Don't hear that from my voice. But what I'm saying is sometimes you don't know what you are and what you aren't until you get pressed into a situation that reveals what you truly are or what you need to become. And so, yeah, I like C.S. Lewis on this one. I'm out of that now because we got to go. We got to go. All right, we're at the 28-minute mark. That's a little long, but we're going to do this in the next 30 minutes. We have some Erskin music. What should he play? Well, I'm going to play my most popular song. We'll be coming back. The format will actually be similar to what it is that we're doing now. We got some more cut-ins and some more things that are going on. I know that we haven't done Forrest Frank in a while.
It's time to ask yourself, who's your daddy now?
But we'll definitely be coming back strong with that one. And then Charlie Kirk.
What would you say? What would you say? What would you say? What would you say?
But we're going to have to go top shelf here with my most popular song. And you guys are probably already saying the name of it. Is he worth it? 4 minutes and 2 seconds. We'll be right back with our top stories for today. We're talking about our phone, knowing what it is that we're talking about, some etiquette. And there's a call to action that I want to give, and I'll give that one probably first here at the beginning. All right. Is he worth it?
This is no game, it's no fairy tale. I stared right into a rifle barrel. It all comes down to this: is he worth it? This is no dream, it's reality. They stole my love and my dignity. It all comes down to this: is he worth it? This is where faith lives or dies. be worth it. This is no lie. They stole my child, they give her back if I just deny. The road seems long ahead. Is it worth it? Pay the price, pay the price. This love demands a sacrifice. I'll give what I can't keep to gain what I can lose. Count the cost, count the cost. It's a privilege to bear the cross. No matter what I face, my heart is certain. Life is gonna ask you to make a choice. Give it all away for a great joy. Nothing's better than Jesus. When the heavens open up and we see His face, standing there, yeah, we're gonna say He was worth every pain. Pay the price. This love demands a sacrifice. I'll give what I can't keep to gain what I can't lose. Count the cost, count the cost. It's a privilege to bear the cross. No matter what I face, my heart is certain. Yeah, no matter what I face, my heart is certain that He's worth it. Oh, yeah, He's worth it. Oh.
All right, I got a story that's going to call us to action, and I want to get to that as soon as possible. Here's a situation that's taking place in Nigeria that we need to know about. This is Mike Winger, Mike Winger, I don't believe is reformed. He's got a series of critiques on Calvinism, and I want to listen to some of those because I deeply, deeply respect Mike Winger, and I would love to see what his objections are to Calvinism. But anyway, we'll get to that next season. But Mike Winger is here talking about something that we need to hear about in relationship to persecution in Nigeria.
Insiders inside of Nigeria who've communicated it through truthnigeria.com. This has happened before. 2 years ago, there was the Black Christmas massacre where hundreds of Christians were killed in coordinated attacks on multiple towns. And we know it is Islamic style to come at people during their holidays, to attack on Hanukkah, to attack on Christmas, to attack on Yom Kippur, to attack on whenever you're having a great time, whenever your defenses are down, whenever you're gathered in groups. This is an emergency, and we need the U.S. government to get involved if possible. We need for the Nigerian government, obviously, they should get involved. It is only.
Now, I've listened to this through, and I've listened to this on several different, another platform. The thing that we need to do most in this situation is we need to pray. But our prayers, I believe, and this is my response here. I've already messaged Representative John Rose, who's in my district in Tennessee, regarding this, and there'll be a call to action, some things that we can do, practically speaking, in relationship to the United States government. But before any of those things take place, we need to pray. But I think that in praying, we also need to be informed in our prayers. And so I wanted to play this to you. If you do the call to action that is here and you message your representative, that's fine. That's great. It's wonderful. It takes literally 3 minutes to be able to do it. If you have all of your stuff auto save where you can put your name and address in, click, copy, paste, put your representative in there, put your name or contact if you want to continue contact. It's easy to do. If you don't have the time to do that, that's fine. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But if you're a follower of Christ, what you do want to do, I'm going to tell you what you want to do. I'm acting like I'm your daddy, but I'm going to tell you that you want to be praying. There's no Christian out there that should be like, you know what, I'm not praying for Nigeria. I don't care if they get killed. No Christian that's out there, no pastor that's out there, no true spiritual leader that I should say, would be out there saying, you know what, this is not even a big deal. Merry Christmas. Let's wrap the gifts. Let's get the ham, turkey. No, That is not a biblical or Christian response. We do care, and we do know that prayer works. God uses prayer to impact people's lives, and that we can be praying and should be praying about this situation. But to inform us about what we could be praying about, here's Mike Winger.
In the failure of their involvement or their capacity to do something about it, that we need U.S. government involvement. And so I'm going to here speak on behalf of my fellow believers in Nigeria, as a Christian who cares about them, as a fellow believer, as one who's told according to Scripture that I'm to remember those that are in chains as though I was with them. And so in spirit, I'm with you guys. And I'm praying that God would protect you, but we're also advocating that God would protect you. So this is an action video. I'm going to call you guys to action. Let me show you the details, and then I'll give you the action steps that you guys can take that might make a huge difference and save some lives a few days from now. This is truthnigeria.com. Okay, this website was founded because of the ongoing terrorist activity of Muslim jihadis in Nigeria. They created this website so that they could warn towns. Basically, they'd find out there was a group on bikes with RPGs and AKs and stuff headed to a town, and they would warn the town. They would send a signal out to get that town, basically so that people could flee. This has been going on for years and years and years in Nigeria. This is not even news. But what's news is that there's Judge Saul now is warning of planned terrorist attacks in Nigeria during the Christmas season. You can read about this on truthnigeria.com.
I don't think that we have a good grasp of what the reality of this looks like in our context, because you can very well be in Nigeria, in a certain part of Nigeria, and not be experiencing any of these things that are being talked about here. And yet there have been targeted attacks that don't just go through and it's like, hey, there's a Christian that got killed in a village in Nigeria, and he got into some kind of argument with a group of people. They identified that he was a Christian, and then they killed him, and then they, another Christian somewhere. This is not like sporadic random stuff like that. This is groups of people who are coming together for the express purpose of going with genocide and murderous thoughts in their mind toward those in whom they have identified as Christians. And so I don't know that it could be any more appropriate. That song that we just listened to, Is Jesus Worth It? On both sides of the equation. On the Nigerian side, asking themselves the question, is it worth it to follow Jesus in a country where someone may literally come to my door with an AK-47 and ask me to deny Christ or lose my life? Or is it more pressing on our side, and probably it should be, to be stirred to this call to action to which we are beholden to be praying with these believers, to be informed, to be vigilant, to be faithful in the discharge of the gospel on our side of the equation, because one of the things that they cannot do and are forced by their persecutors not to do is proclaim the gospel. Are we being stirred and motivated in these ways with the knowledge of the fact that this is a different reality than what even the media sometimes will express and explore? And so this is a great, and again, I don't want you to just believe it because I've said it, but I'm using my platform to be able to say it with other platforms that are out there. Here's something that we need to be prepared for. I know that we're getting Christmas gifts and everything ready. I know that we got holiday plans, holiday travel, all the things. But I would say that maybe in between those things, or maybe even pushing aside maybe some of those things to a certain degree, we need to be vigilant about this. What are you going to be doing on December 25th? You can be opening presents, wassail, holiday games, Bible story. I don't know what it is you're going to be doing on December 25th, but we know that there's a coordinated Muslim attack planned for December the 25th.
I'm going to have it on your screen here as well. Here it says he's sounding the warning of two religious freedom activists at Washington's National Press Club. This was on December 10th. We're trying to get the government to care about this. We're trying to push this forward, to get forward movement, to have the U.S. government maybe do drone strikes to kill these terrorists so that they cannot do this stuff, or do something. Not
Oh yeah, pacifists aren't going to like this episode.
To violate Nigeria's sovereignty, hopefully working with Nigeria, the Nigerian government. In fact, let me show you another article in a second that they may be even approving of this finally, but we don't know. Everything's up in the air because there's multiple forces on both sides fighting for the Nigerians, the Christians in Nigeria, versus fighting for the Muslims in Nigeria, and that's just how it is. So the information is that there's multiple specific towns. Judge Saul even knows the towns that are going to be attacked. He's warning the governments of these things. The Nigerian government historically doesn't care, doesn't do anything. Even recently, there were 300 kids that were kidnapped. You guys heard this story.
Listen to this. If you hadn't heard this story, you need to listen to this.
300 kids that were kidnapped just 3 weeks ago. And so far, while in the US, if that happened, those kidnappers would be dead or in custody and those kids would be free already. Yep. It would have happened within 24 hours.
Yep.
In Nigeria, it's been over 3 weeks. 100 of them have been released with no information from the government. We don't know why they were released. They were probably paid off, which means they got more money to buy guns and do even worse stuff this Christmas. And the other 200 are just still with them. This is insane. This stuff's insane.
I want you to think about that for just a second. Because there might be some pacifists who are like, turn this show off. Get that Erskin music show. He's a war hawk. We're not going to listen to this guy. He's got murderous thoughts. He's not a true Christian because he's advocating war. He's advocating violence. No, what I am trying to educate you guys on is the fact that there is spear sovereignty. The government bears a sword. Check it out in Romans chapter 13. If you don't believe me, just watch. The government bears a sword and has the capacity and the responsibility to bear that sword for wrongdoing that is taking place, even a sword. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Lethal force when necessary. The church has a spear of sovereign authority. The family and the home has a spear of sovereign authority. So I'm trying to help you understand that it's not inconsistent for me to be saying, or for Mike Winger to be saying, if somebody came into our homes and stole 300 of our kids, we might be the ones who execute that justice. But so far as we would call the police or the police would be involved, if there was an altercation and the people who ended up doing this were killed as a result of it, we would not sit back and say, well, they've inappropriately used their authority. No, they've used their authority appropriately so that we could get the kids back, so that we could have justice, so that we could have truth prevail, so that we could have a quality of life. And so too, the complexity of the situation is we can't just go into other people's nations. I mean, national borders. That's something that we argue about all the time. Who should be in America and who should not be in America? And this is not a show on immigration, but I believe in national borders. The scriptures believe in national borders. The 10 Commandments believes in borders and property rights. You can't covet your neighbor's stuff if everything is yours, or you have the right to everything. And so this idea that the government in Nigeria is overlooking, ignoring the things that are going on around them, and that there's some outside influence that may be exerted, has to a certain degree be authorized by the Nigerian government to say, maybe we need some help. Now, the difficulty is you recognize that when you're dealing with folks in an Asian country or a culture, and sometimes even in an African culture, it's honor and shame more than just meritocracy in the way that we have it here in the United States. And what that means is, you know it, and I know it, and we could all with a straight face look each other in the eye and say, we know what's going on here. The Nigerian government doesn't need our help. They don't need our help. They're either one, A, complicit with what's going on here in the violence toward Christians, or B, they're not going to admit that they need help. I mean, why kick a man when he's down? They're not going to come to America when America's like, hey, you got a problem there. We need to come, big bully on the block. We need to come and fix this problem because it's impacting the Christians that are there. And as a humanitarian rescue of the situation, we're going to get involved. They go, no. We got this under control. You ain't got nothing under control. You ain't got nothing under control, but the diplomacy to be able to negotiate and say, okay, listen, publicly, you got to kind of make it look like this was your idea. We're going to come in and do all the dirty work. Like there's all sorts of back kind of things that are going on in the government. They are. I mean, I don't know, but I know. So there's all sorts of back things that are going on in the government. And it's really tough when you're dealing with an honor and shame culture for that culture to come and say, we actually do need your help. And so one of those two realities is true. They're either complicit in some of it, or if they're not complicit in it, they can't really control what's going on, which no government wants to be in a position where they're called out in that sort of situation.
Insane. So Judd reached out to me and was like, hey, Mike, please help raise awareness. We want to stir up our government. We want to stir up our people, and we want to cause something to happen to protect the Christians on the ground in Nigeria this Christmas because a significant massacre is planned. So he has inside sources, people that are on the ground. They've been doing this for years now, this website, truthnigeria.com, and it's been very successful at reliably communicating when terror is going to happen. Their success rate is high. They warn the government on a regular basis. The government pretty much always ignores them. It doesn't do anything. That is why we're raising the red alarms, the red alerts here. So why should you trust this site? Because Judd is on the ground, because Judd is an actual believer. I've met with Judd. I know Judd at least somewhat enough that I feel like I can take a risk by trusting him and telling you the things that are going on. I believe he's reliable and he's doing good stuff. And this is one of the major developments that's going on right now. U.S. armed drones cleared to hit terrorist targets in Nigeria. That is what an expert is claiming. Okay, this is not confirmed through the government sources, but an expert claiming this because of following aviation records and looking at where the drones are flying and where the different aircraft are and stuff that goes over my head.
If you see
but
that,
this is a positive sign. If this is correct, then maybe they can do something. But of course, just because they have the capacity to do it and they've got the military to do it, it doesn't mean that they will have the go-ahead from government officials, and that's where you come in. So this brings us to what you can do, the action you can take right now in the next 5 minutes, and to former Congressman Mark Walker. Mark Walker was nominated by Trump to be the religious freedom nominee. Let me show you this guy. We want to get this guy affirmed as the religious freedom nominee, but for 8 months, his confirmation has been stalled for what look like political grudge type reasons. That's what this NBC News article is about. It's suggesting that Congressman Budd might be behind this for his own political career stuff and not for what's good for the country. I don't know. All I know is pressure being put on this situation to deal with getting Mark Walker nominated, having a guy that's put in a position where he could effectively help the ongoing crisis of terrorism, Islamic terrorism in particular, and having him sit there for 8 months. He can't even get a hearing. He can't even get a hearing because of what's going on in Congress, because welcome to the U.S. government, unfortunately. So I'm asking you guys to go down below and click the link that'll take you to this website, congress.gov. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down. Here's your action steps. You scroll down just a little bit and you'll see where it says select U.S. state or territory.
More awesome if
open that up and click your state. Maybe you live in Hawaii. Most of us don't, but let's suppose you do. It's going to show you your representatives. And here you go. You can email them right from here. You can send messages to them. And what will you email them? You might be thinking. You email them the script that I'm going to put in the video description. It'll be right there. You can copy and paste it, or you can basically just tell them in your own words, please take action to stop the persecution of Christians in Nigeria and the coming Christmas massacre. And also get Mark Walker a hearing so he can be appointed as the religious freedom guy. So that is what you need to put there. You just need to get their attention on it. Your words don't have to be perfect. It is the voice of the people.
All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that for just a second. So I'm in Tennessee, and we've gone ahead and already messaged my representative. Now, he says something a little bit later on in this that I didn't realize, and this kind of educated me. When they get responses from people, they actually count those as, I don't know if it's like 5 to 10 responses when they get one response from somebody, because I guess they try to figure out if that represents a household or the number of people who would have the concern. So when you reach out, they kind of amplify that a little bit and say, well, this person is concerned about that. Generally within a space of 5 or 6 people, they've also been talking about this, and there's probably more people who didn't message them that are being represented by the concern. And so let's go ahead and flood our representatives with this. I don't know anything about the confirmations. I mean, I feel like we need to confirm Nick Ripken and have him speak into these matters, but I'm not in the government. But the government does have an office, religious liberty, those kind of things that are going on there. So that's something that you could do. But again, overarching all of that, what we can do and what we should do is we should be praying about the situation in Nigeria. We should be praying for their government. We should be praying that if they're not complicit in what's going on there and they actually know where these attacks are taking place, that they will move to protect human life, who is in the dignity and created with human dignity in the image of God. They should move to protect that life. And so here again, you're going to hear me talk more about it, because I just got some very discouraging news that we have more abortions now. We have more abortions now in 2025 than we had in 2022 when Roe versus Wade was overturned. We're going to be talking about that Live Louder next season, or season 1 of Live Louder. So we'll be talking about those kind of things. So you will hear me step up to the plate, and I will swing. I'll swing, baby. Swing, bada, swing on the issue of life. But here is a pro-life issue. It just happens to be the lives of those who are outside the womb and the lives of those who are not in this country. Do those lives matter? Well, yes, they do. And so you're going to hear me speak about that. So if that's a call to response, that's a call to action. This should be a call to action to some regard for all of us who are watching this show. And I wanted to use my platform and the last Erskin Music Show to do some good in this world. Thinking about doing some good in this world, we have another top story that we're getting ready to look at here in relationship to our cell phones. And I know we're at the 50-minute mark. We may go just a tad bit long today, but it'll be worth it because it's the final show, the Erskin Music Show. So our Second top story here is, and we'll go through this one pretty quickly, is cell phone usage. It's listening. It's listening to me right now. It's actually listening to you. Wait, how can you see that? It's supposed to block that out. Woo-woo. Oh, okay. Very good. All right. Well, second top story. I don't know what happened to this brother. I'm not talking about his face. Y'all stop playing. I don't know what happened to this brother, but his audio is just a little bit off. But he's going to scroll through a couple things that we need to hear about in relationship to our phone. If you didn't already know this, I mean, we all kind of know this already. We all know that this phone is listening to everything that we have to say. Jesus, Erskin Music Show, Erskin Music, Live Louder. Yeah, it's listening to everything that we have to say. And so let's prepare ourselves. Cybersecurity.
It's not. Your phone is listening, watching, tracking, predicting, and collecting data on you right now, even when you're not using it. And today, I'm going to explain exactly how and why it's far worse than most people realize.
I don't want to know that it's worse.
I'm Carl B. Johnson, CISO, author, and cybersecurity instructor. And this is one of the biggest risks I see every single day. Let's start with the obvious. Your phone tracks everything: where you go, who you talk to, what you search, what you buy, what time you wake up, what time you sleep, and even how fast you walk. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. You gave every app on your phone permission to do it. Not because you wanted to, but because you tapped allow just to make a pop-up go away.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets scary. Your microphone and camera can be activated without your knowledge through apps you've already installed. No, it's not the government listening 24/7. It's much simpler than that. It's advertisers, it's data brokers, it's app developers who make money by selling your behavior.
All right. This should terrify everyone that's out there. There's some things that we can do to turn these kind of things off. But the cell phone experience is tailored to give you the maximum amount of screen time. And there's a Pavlovian effect that by swiping and by closing, undo trash, cancel. The kind of things that cause us to habitually pick up our phone and look at it, pick up our phone and look at it, pick up our phone and look at it. I've tried to do this. I've got several meetings today. One of the things I try to do is I try to get my phone and put it either in my pocket, although I don't want the radiation killing my leg, but the water is killing you, the air is killing you, everything is killing you, everything killing me softly. Paul says, although outwardly we are wasting away, inwardly we're being renewed day by day. That's the life of the believer. Everything is killing us. But I try to get my phone out of sight because, one, I don't want to be disrespectful to the people that I'm with. And I don't want to have the tendency of something, because if my phone buzzes, because there are some times when my wife needs to get in contact with me and she has access to directly get in contact with me. But there are some times when my phone buzzes that I have to look at it, but I try as hard as I possibly can to not have this thing. And again, he may say, just go ahead and turn it off, but I can't always turn on my phone. There's too many things going on in life that might be an emergency.
They're building a psychological profile on you. Your fears, your habits, your routines, your preferences, everything they need to predict what you'll do next and how to influence it.
Yep.
This isn't accidental. It's the business model.
Yep.
Have you ever talked about something out loud and then all of a sudden you started seeing ads for it? Yeah, that wasn't an accident.
All of a sudden.
Your phone is designed to listen for intent. It's not recording full conversations. It's listening for keywords. Words like buy, looking for, need, planning, or specific product names. And every time it hears something valuable, it tags it, analyzes it, and sends it to an advertiser's database. That is the part most people never realize. But audio isn't the only problem. Apps can track you through Bluetooth beacons in stores, Wi-Fi networks you walk past, location history, even with GPS turned off. Your IP address, which reveals your habits, Motion sensors, which show when you're driving, walking, or sleeping.
Now, this is interesting because we have State Farm, and in order to get a driver reduction, we got teenagers now. Get some breaks on our insurance, please. I think this is a classic example of the fact that we try to get discounts, we try to get convenience, we try to get deals on certain things. I can guarantee you, get a new phone, we begin setting up some of our social media, allow this, read through, acknowledgement, page after page after page. Just go ahead and check the boxes. Okay, start the phone, then we go use it. We might want to go ahead and check those things. But this is the effect that I'm talking about, of which people want to track your habits. They want to track that you're doing things and then give you something on the other side of it. We're susceptible to that. We are susceptible to that. I know that I'm susceptible to that. Why not get a deal? Why not get, some break in my rate that I'm paying for my insurance? Well, the problem with that is they know where I'm driving. I have had to make my peace with this. And if this applies to you as you're listening to this today, then let this apply to you. Some way, somehow, like he was talking about, even with GPS turned off, Bluetooth, motion sensors that have you at a particular place, at a particular time, habitual patterns in our life, you're not going to be able to escape any of that. I mean, you would be one of the weirdest people trying to live off the grid. It would be like, I don't know if you've seen that movie Quiet Place. You'd be walking on sand. You'd be walking backwards to different places. You'd be you'd become a nut job trying to escape all the different ways, all the different nets, it's like Mission Impossible and like all those little laser beams. You would be like a little nut job trying to walk through life and not trip any of those things or trigger any of those things. However, I've made my peace with this. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, so is there anybody that has any blackmail information on you? And I said, no. They said there's not anybody who could blackmail you for anything. Like they don't have like some juicy details on you. And I thought a little, because I guess I didn't answer the question the first time. I said no. And I thought about it and I was like, no. The people who know that I've done dumb stuff, I've already acknowledged the dumb stuff that I've done, at least so far as I know. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who has any blackmail information about me. Here's my point. Don't be talking about stuff you're not supposed to be talking about. Don't be talking about stuff that you don't think somebody is going to hear. Don't be talking about things that you're not supposed to be talking about, inappropriate. Don't be going places you're not supposed to be. It's a very simple principle. Your sins will find you out. I wish I could go to some places like the YMCA tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Margaret Maddox White, YMCA in East Nashville, and give y'all that work. That's a habitual pattern of mine. I'm there and I'm talking trash. And so you know what comes up on my feed a lot? A lot of basketball. A lot of basketball, people getting dunked on, people working on different spin moves, because I'll be on here talking trash. But I do want people to show up at the Margaret Maddox East Nashville YMCA and get that work at 8 o'clock on Friday mornings. But nonetheless, here's some more that we need to hear.
Metadata, which exposes your relationships and behaviors. Even photos can take certain hidden data, the exact location, device type, and timestamp.
Okay.
This is why I say your phone knows you better than your friends and family.
Ooh.
And in some cases, even yourself. So what can you do? Let me give you a quick checklist. Number 1, turn off microphone access for all apps except those that actually need it. Number 2, disable location permissions for apps that don't require it. Number 3, delete apps you don't use, even if you think they're harmless. Number 4, avoid free apps. If it's free, you are the product.
Did you hear that? I hope you heard that. If it's free, you're the product. We'll give you this for free. This is the light version. Oh, you're the product, because they don't want you to just stay at the light version. They'll give you just enough to get you to the paid version, to get you to a subscription, to make more money.
Number 5, use a privacy-focused browser instead of the default one. Number 6, turn off Bluetooth when you're not using it. Number 7, restart your phone once a week. It kills a lot of the background tracking.
Okay.
These simple actions cut about
Those were all good things. What are you going to take from that list that will help you out? I like to restart the phone trick. Turning off Bluetooth, that's a little difficult for me at times, because there's a lot of things in my world that run off of Bluetooth. Not this particular setup, because I'm in East Tennessee, but my regular setup has some Bluetooth related to my audio digital mixer. That's why the show sounds so good. We spent some money. We made an investment in the show this season, and not this portable setup that I have here, but the studio setup that we have at the Resolute desk. Woo, we be getting it done. But that runs off of Bluetooth and some other things that are out there. And so what are you guys going to put into practice? What should you be putting into practice? Where should you be going? What should you be saying, or maybe not saying, that will help you out here? All right, that's some good stuff. I love it. Last story. And we're going into the holidays with this story, but this is Officer Tatum, so take that for what it is. But Officer Tatum is going to talk to us about this employee at Target who was berated, and I got a lot to say about this. Actually, I don't have a lot to say about this. I'm just going to say it quickly. So here's a lady at Target who's working at Target, and she has a red shirt on, and I've noticed that businesses have allowed people to do this, and I didn't think that this was a thing, but I guess apparently it now is a thing, because I was surprised at some of the stores that I was at that the employees had the color of the store on, but it was something that said something completely different. Apparently they allow people to do this now. At this particular store, and we're still trying to figure out where this lady is at. Maybe we don't need to figure out where this lady is at. We talked about tracking people. Officer Tatum was talking about tracking her. He wants to, give her a gift card or whatever it is, some kind of acknowledgement for the fact that she responded the way that she did. But it's an older lady who is wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. It's in the color of the establishment that she works for. And someone sees the shirt and then makes a beeline over to go and talk to her and argue with her about wearing the shirt and about the fact that she shouldn't be wearing the shirt. And there's a couple of different levels that I want you to watch this on. And we have to watch it fast and we have to think, but this audience is very adept at doing this. Think on the level of just basic human interaction. Is this appropriate or not appropriate? Is this something you can show your kids? Hey, this is not appropriate. Don't do this. We can learn by watching this what not to do in a certain situation. And conversely, we can learn what to do by watching this from the vantage point of another person. All right, so there's that level of watching this. There's the level of understanding the nature of dialogue and debate and discourse, and another word that I would use here, diffusing a situation. Like this lady really wanted to go toe-to-toe. It wasn't time to go toe-to-toe. And so diffusing a situation, we can learn and we can observe some of those things as well. In relationship to Charlie Kirk and him being called a racist. Like if you've actually done a deep dive on what it is that was racism, that people are saying is racism, I don't think it was racism. I don't think he was responding out of racism. In fact, I saw him a very harsh response that he gave some people who actually were racist. He told him to get off the stage and get off the microphone. And so I think understanding if you're going to wear somebody's shirt, if you're going to represent some brand that's out there and it could anyway be controversial, which everything could be controversial, I suspect. But if you're going to wear a brand and there's a presentation that's controversial, know what it is that you're talking about. Know either how to diffuse a situation or know some substantive material about what it is. I always told kids, don't hand out a gospel tract that you haven't read. Don't wear a shirt that if somebody were to ask you, what does that mean? You'd be sitting there going, I don't know what this means. I just got it on. Don't do that. It makes you look like an idiot. So watch this on several levels. Don't look like an idiot. And then there's another level that I think we might be able to get to. We may or may not get to it in the time that we have. All right, Officer Tatum.
I would let a woman cuss at this older woman because she decided to wear a Charlie Kirk shirt. Why would you speak to another person this way? To cuss at this lady is so disrespectful. When the woman don't even work at Walmart, at Target, that lady ain't got no. So she bothering this woman for no reason. I remember when a dumb lady, and I almost slapped this lady, but I was trying to be a good Christian. My wife it's back when COVID, the scamdemic was going on. This lady had scrubs on. She's in Dillard's or wherever we were at. My wife is at the checkout line. This woman done checked out already and walking out the door. She see my wife without a mask on, and my wife is already like 7 months pregnant. She come back to the line and try to tell my wife that she need to pull her mask up. I said, lady, you better get out of here before I slap you. It's the same thing about this. You going at this older lady and you cussing at her like this. I couldn't be at the store. I'm just saying I couldn't be at the store. Roll it.
That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
And you should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your head. That's insane. Insane.
It's the fact that she got some.
All right. We don't need Officer Tatum on that one. We don't need Officer Tatum to have some kind of righteous indignation about that. And I'm not gonna trip. This is my last Erskin music show. There is a certain sense in which folks need to be told politely, if you can. Hopefully it can be resolved quickly and without great incident, to mind your own business. Mind your own business. We have activists who want to police what it is that people wear. We have religious fundamentalists and we have cultural fundamentalists that are out there. We generally do. They're going to police what you wear, police what you say, police if you have mask on, all those different things. They're the voice of justice. At times, we need to figure out what minding our own business looks like. That wasn't the time, nor the place, nor the circumstance. And we might disagree with what she had to say with Charlie Kirk, but I mean, maybe go on your podcast and say, hey, I saw a lady who was wearing Charlie Kirk. Or maybe just go and talk to the manager if you feel like that was a concern. And the manager can tell you, hey, we let folks wear that. Sorry if that offended you. This is Target. Target tries to offend and not offend anybody that's out there. And Target has come under fire from time to time. They try to have the LGBT line. That failed miserably. There was a great cultural pushback on that. And as much as I disagree these days with Candace Owens, I actually agree. Not to the extent that she was saying, you're the gay or you're a pervert. I don't know what Candace Owens said or something if you shop at Target. I got my ugly Christmas sweater from Target. My Snoopy Christmas sweater from Target. And I'm not gay. And I'm not a pervert. I shop at Target. But Target has been under fire because of the very woke agenda that they have tried to present to the people, and the culture said no. They apparently are allowing their employees to wear a Charlie Kirk shirt or red shirt or something that is in the color spectrum. And so, yeah, I think that there's a lot here that commends itself to the mind your own business, meddling in a quarrel that's not your own. There's proverbial wisdom that needs to be applied in this situation, and it's not being applied in this particular situation. And we get a chance to see it because virtually everything is recorded these days. All of these stories are circular. They all filter into one another. Big Brother, if you want to call it that, is watching you. You have phones that are listening. You have people who are engaging. And all of that is commensurate with the responsibility that we have as followers of Christ. I'm going to close the show out with this. To be people who know the word, show the word, and go in the word. When we come back for season 1 of Live Louder, we're going to be talking about these things and really trying to press the point of how to think about these issues in a fast-changing world, in a sinful world, and in an information-saturated world. How are we going to decipher through some of these things? We're going to need to make louder and emphasize the things of truth so that we can cut through the noise. So it is my purpose and endeavor to cut through the noise as we come into January 2026. There's so much noise out there. There's so many stories that are out there. There's, even in the music industry of which I'm part of, 1 million downloads of songs every day. 1 million. With AI generated things that are going on out there and the ease of being able to release music. Some estimate there'll be 10 to 20 million new songs downloaded every day. The flood of information is overwhelming, and the capacity and the ability for deep fake is greater than it has ever been before. And so we will sing a little louder, sing a little louder, live a little louder in response to these things. And it won't always be with a raised voice. It won't always be with a raised voice. Sometimes we'll live louder by just simply doing. You may be copied and pasted and sent to your representative the subject matter related to persecution. That wasn't a loud voice, but it was loud actions. And so I'm looking forward to next season, closing the door on this one. I got to get to a meeting, and then another meeting, and then another meeting. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the series finale of the Erskin Music Show. We'll be back in January. And once again, it has been a party. I've enjoyed it. This moniker will change out. So it'll no longer be the Erskin Music Show. But I've enjoyed it. God bless you guys. Thank you. And good night.